out here today to celebrate the life of Keith. And this is not a day for us to mourn a death. This is a day for us to celebrate a life. And I'm honored to be able to speak about our friend, and I only wish that I'd gotten to say one last goodbye to him. Because life is full of sacred moments. And in our hurry to get through our lives, we often miss those moments. And usually at a time when we most need to find meaning. And now I find myself regretting how many times I've said, I'll worry about it later, I'll call that person later. And sometimes later doesn't come, and that's why it's important for us to take the time right here and now to let the people in our lives know just what they mean to us. I've known Keith for over 20 years, and I've seen him go through some really awesome ups, but I've also seen him go through downs that everybody has. But through everything, he was always such an optimistic person. No matter how bad things seemed, that was just how Keith was. He always had a hope that things were going to be great. And he was a sweet and gentle soul. And when he smiled, he lit up the room. I was talking to my friend Stacy this morning and saying how we were talking about the image that we have in our head of him. And I was telling her about how when Matt and I got married, he didn't know that he was going to be able to come to the wedding. And as we were walking up the aisle, as we were walking up the aisle to go and get married, I looked and I saw Keith sitting there with this huge grin on his face. And he was just like, and it was like, and that's the image that I have in my head of him, is that big giant grin of his. He was never embarrassed to be a total goofball. And if any of y'all saw the picture of the cheese castle from when him and Julie got married, I insisted that she put that picture there because he's the only guy I know that'd be like, yes, let's have a castle made out of cheese at our wedding. And I was in total shock when I got the call about what had happened, as I'm sure all of you were. And I couldn't wrap my brain around it. And out of thin air, someone that I loved and just assumed would always be there was gone. But over the last week, as I've been talking to mutual friends, the more we started remembering all the good things about Keith. Suddenly, it didn't hurt so much anymore. I've actually felt myself laughing more in the last week than I have in a long time, just saying, remember when, and laughing. Because he left a lot of really good memories. And there's a quote from Rita Mae Brown that I thought was really appropriate. I still miss those I loved who are no longer with me, but I find I'm grateful for having loved them. Gratitude conquers loss. And one of my favorite moments, my favorite memories of Keith is, it was a New Year's Eve, and it was when Clara had just moved back. And Clara said, hey, let's call Keithy and see what he's doing for New Year's. He's like, well, I've got Aiden here, and I'm not doing anything. And we're like, well, what bar are we going to go to? What club are we going to go to? And we're like, you know what, it's great. We're going to go over to Keith's. And we're like, Keith, we're bringing New Year's to you. So me and Clara and Matt went over there. We brought board games. We played Mousetrap over and over and over again for hours and just hung out with him because we were like, New Year's Eve, you're supposed to just be spending time with the people that you love, and it's about celebrating. It's not about going to a bar or a club. It's about celebrating and being with people that you love. And that was one of the best New Year's Eves I've ever had, was just being there in that living room with the people that I love. And that meant a whole lot to me, and I hold on to it. And if you go to Keith's Facebook page, you will see such an incredible outpouring of grief and love and memories, but also hope for the future. A lot of people who posted on there were like, hey buddy, I'll see you on the other side. Everybody was like, yep. It's something to look forward to get to see Keith again. And he touched the lives of so many people, whether as a friend, or a father, a family member, or through his music. And so I am so happy to see all these people gathered here today to pay tribute to Keith in a way that he would have wanted. It's been random chaos, and he's getting his final basin barbecue. And so, this is to Keith. We love you. Love you, dude. And in my mind, you still have that big, goofy grin on your face, because that's how I like to think about it. And so, I know that there are people who would like to speak, but first, Julie has some things that she would like to say. And thank you guys for all loving him in your own way just as much as I did.
I was a little ambitious and thinking. I wrote it down because I was scared I would freeze up. For me, he was not just a husband, but a friend. And I looked up to him and respected him and always admired him and his way with people. He used to tease me that I stole all his girlfriends. For a long time, it was unintentionally true. Almost all of my best friends, dating all the way back, all the way up through Danielle, that I can remember, he befriended first. He brought into our lives, into our homes, and they became my friends. I always appreciated the lack of footwork I ever had to do to have a good best friend. And he was so damn good at making friends. He made it where I never had to learn, so when I finally had to make friends, it was the hardest thing for me. To this day, I don't have a female friend because I was so spoiled by all the wonderful people he brought into my life. And, but y'all were, a lot of them were Keiths, is my point. All of you were Keiths. He drew many women to his friendship because he was always so kind, the kind of guy that you knew you could trust him and tell him all your secrets and he wouldn't try to get in your pants. You know, he was a good friend and he would always really be there for him and people really truly thought of him as a genuine person, and you can't say that about a lot of people. He felt very connected to the scene for some time, and I know he was disappointed when he couldn't pull off this last basin barbecue. He said people just aren't coming together like they used to, and I reminded him that it's a different time, and that we used to do things together, and I know that he would really truly appreciate that all of his friends are here to memorialize him and send him off in such a wonderful way, remembering what he meant to each person. I admired so much in him his ability to see the good in everyone, his impact on people, male and female alike. Though our marriage ended, I still consider it a successful one. We had 5 years together dating and as first loves and 11 years of marriage before we separated. Since we have still shared friends and a child and have done our best to remain somewhat good to one another. And good old crappy laptop. Word is not responding. Tech support. I'm going to try to remember some of what this said. I did attend his viewing Friday night and his service on Saturday. I was there with his family. I've been there to console his girlfriends he had since me, and honestly was very honored to do it. I know his most recent love, she's so devastated she could barely walk. And it's an honor for me to be able to be there for people who loved him. He died with love. He died having love in his life. And even though him and I were separated forever, many of you may not know this, we actually only recently got divorced in January. I received the papers in the mail the same day I found out he died. But I don't feel sorry for myself, or when I think about that and attempt to feel sorry for myself, I remember he died with love. He spoke with his girlfriend right before he died. He died in his sleep. The autopsy is going to take up to 3 months, so we really won't know what he died of, but we know what he did not die of, which is anything you can think of. So don't be worried that there was anything. He spent the last week of his life extremely happy. The last time I spoke with him, he was very happy. His only concern was whether he could afford to keep his son's Xbox Live going. which we have since taken care of. But he had love in his life, and he got to spend his last week here with her every single day, which is not something he got to do very often. And he told her, as she told me at the funeral, that he was as happy as he'd ever been. So I want everyone here to know that he did die peacefully. As far as details, those are the most that I know of. What is going on with my computer? Well, it is not responding to me. There we go. I got it. Thank you. I found some stuff when I was going through these 16 years of pictures. There has been a projector. If you guys have not had a chance to see it, but actually, this came back. Let me finish reading what I was going to do. Yeah, this is about his cause of death. Yeah, though the cause of death is yet unknown, I find solace in knowing he died in his sleep, having just talked to his girlfriend, whom he loved. I will always remember. I've already said all of that. I know I won't get any peace till I know what he really died of, but just knowing that he died with love and in his sleep, and not of anything on purpose or accidentally on purpose or anything like that, that gives me a lot of solace. He had been sick off and on for over a year. He'd been to every doctor and every kind of test, and no one could ever tell him what was wrong. So we do know that there was some kind of pre-existing something that no one could tell us. That's really, I like, you know. He spoke with his son only days before. And I mentioned he was worried about the Xbox Live. He was an inspiration and aid to all that he knew. His current girlfriend was actually quite sick, and every time she would faint, he would rush over immediately and take care of her and pull her to and make sure she came around. And he really was a lifesaver for many. I know a lot of people who've reached out to me and sent me letters, come from all over the world, because his second addiction was social media. And he had a lot of good friends, that would post and say, I never got to meet him, but he really listened to me and got me through a hard time. And that was true of him, whether he knew you in person or overseas. I mean, he knew people from every country you can think of. In addition to the memories we shared at Burning Man or Flipside or other Burn events, he did consider for a very long time, as well as I did, that his friends were family. Our friends were really our family for a very long time. As we got older, of course, family became much more important, but we also appreciated that our scene grew up with us, got married with us, had kids along with us. And so we still feel like, him and I each individually, that you guys are still our family. And we didn't get out together much, but the bonds that were formed early were wonderful and strong, and it's evident by the people in this room today, and the outpour of people that I've heard from, via Facebook, email, etc. The places that Keith got to go to in his life, he went to many places with me: Amsterdam, Cancun, Cozumel. We went to Vegas many times, Jamaica, the Grand Caymans. He really did get to do quite a